everyone, and welcome back to USA Global TV and to Business Talk Radio. I'm Dr. Jacalyn Kerbeck, and our show today is the United Kingdom News and Culture. And boy, do we have a great show for you today. We have a full house backstage. Let's welcome our team of expert panelists from the great state of Texas. Diann, Floyd, Boehm, welcome. Joining us from Scotland, Simon Macdonald. Hello.
Hello.
And joining us from London, Helena Chard and Pelham Turner. Hi. And a special guest today joining us from Oxford, Janetta Barry and the Epiphany Process. Welcome.
Hi.
How lovely to see everyone. This is great.
So nice having you all here. And I have to say again to Helena and Ian, thank you so much for having me on your show. It was a blast. I'm still coming off that cloud. It was so much fun. And we have a lot to discuss today. So I know we've got some news, but before we do, I just want to go around for people around the world who are joining us for the first time and have each of you share a little bit about your background. I'm going to start with Diann.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the show. So I'm a author. I write children's books, as well as I have my first young historical fiction book out, and I am always so excited to be on this show. Thank you, Dr. Jacalyn.
That's quite a pin you have there, Diann.
Thank you. A little tidbit. Sarah Jessica Parker wore this in Sex and the City, so I had to have it when it went on sale.
She's got nothing on you, Diann. Moving over to Scotland and Simon Macdonald.
Well, hello, everybody. Simon Macdonald. I'm this crazy Scotsman from north of the border, where it's a beautiful sunny day today until you step outside and realize just how cold it can really get here. And loving every second of it. And lovely to be back in the show. It's a bit of a family affair, this now, I think. I noticed today that there's quite an imbalance. Ian and I are going to have to be very careful what we say. There are too many ladies in this show today.
And I just want to remind folks who have been here before that we did get to see Simon in his kilts. So there's that.
You're not going to let me live that one down, are you?
I love it. It's perfect.
It's dashing.
It's very charming, very handsome.
Thank you.
Janetta Barry, we just had an unbelievable show this morning with Vera DG, and thank you for joining us today. I know this is the first time you're here on this show.
Oh, thank you. Yes, thank you for having me. And wow, what an insightful and emotion-filled session we had with Vera as she talked of how she escaped last month and what she's doing with her art as she's moving forward. It is beyond inspiring, and I really recommend everybody watch the show because I don't think there was a dry eye in the house. Just amazing.
Agree with you. And you're going to be talking to us a little bit later about World Jenny's Day. I'm excited about that. So welcome. Thank you for being here. And Mr. Pelham Turner.
Mr. Pelham Turner with a croaky voice today as well. I'm working too hard, everyone. I'm working too hard at the moment. I need more, I think, liquid sustenance, perhaps from bonnie Scotland, hopefully. If anybody's listening up there, hint, hint. Obviously, my role is I'm a broadcaster. Along with Helena, we work with most of the major television channels in the world. I've just noticed that all my books are wonky today, so I'm probably going to get a lot of calls now just to say, can't I fix my bookcase again? People don't seem to listen to me; they just look at my background. So there you go. That's me.
Helena's been creeping in there to try and claim her books back again. I think that's what it is here.
Helena, you've been working with him how long?
Oh, over
too long.
Over 15 years. Yeah, we've been working together. Boosting support for the Crown and Great Britain, and just having a blast, really. So it's been good fun. But Ian, you need to clear that bookcase. You really do.
Oh, don't you start as well.
Well, not only that, it looks like he's got a glass behind there. Is that something that you...
I do. I've just realised. Fortunately, I just moved the Hoover just in time. So,
What you don't see Hilarious. Okay, in all seriousness, I know we've got a lot of news. We've got some clips, and then of course we love to just jump in and add color and commentary. So I'm going to turn it over to Helena.
Thank you, Dr. Jacalyn. Well, there's so much news at the moment. It's knowing what to concentrate on. But, you know, something that's dear to our heart, and I know that we've been speaking about it a lot, it's just vital that we show support and let the Ukraine know that we're with them in our hearts, and support in any way we can. It's a huge thing that I really do believe in. And in Great Britain, we really have been going for it. We have had a fabulous concert, which was last night. I don't know if anyone tuned in. It was a concert for Ukraine, and it was star-studded. So far raised at least 13.5 million, and that's going up. And there were some special moments in it, just a few. I mean, this concert was put on pretty last minute in Birmingham. It was shown live on ITV, and you can watch it on catch up. So Trevor Macdonald, the great Trevor Macdonald, who I absolutely love, fabulous broadcaster, taking a slight back step now, but he was there paying tribute to all the journalists out there reporting reporting from Ukraine, you know, on their bravery, etc. Lots have been injured, some are no longer with us. Fabulous performance from Emily Sanday. She performed an uplifting rendition of her song, Brighter Days, with the fantastic, I don't know if you know the Kingdom Choir. They're such a lovely choir. And in fact, I know of Karen Gibson, who's the one who organised the whole thing. She used to be a teacher at a local school to myself and Ian, LSU. And now they've made it big. I mean, she played at Harry and Meghan's wedding, etc. But it truly was fantastic performance. I cried the whole way through. It showed lots of little heartwarming stories, and yeah, it was fabulous. So I was really, really pleased with that. We do have a lovely clip, an emotional clip as well, of some Ukrainian ice skaters, and Maxine and Alexandra Nazarova. It's a lovely clip that was filmed actually by Maxine's best friend, Simeon, and it's got the background to the Ukrainian singer Jamala, who I think had a hit with a 1944 song. But the fabulous thing about these ice skaters is they made it to the World Championship in Montpellier. They literally made up the choreography because they didn't have their coaches with them. But the fact that they made it, they did the actual dance. They then hugged each other, cried. Everyone was cheering. But it's this whole, you know, supporting. It was really, really quite inspirational. I think maybe it'd be quite nice to show that now, Dr. Jacalyn.
Absolutely. Let's take a look.
Well, this performance was not about ice dancing. It was deeper. It was rooted in who they are as people, where they live. It was not a made-up story. It was a real story brought to the ice. Not many words to be able to fairly and accurately describe what was just.
Wow.
So yeah. Powerful, isn't it? It's just lovely that they made it out, and it's inspiring. It's showing light, I mean, through the dark. So it's quite important to show that. Just moving back as well, that the concert that was held last night in Birmingham, that was it was to raise money for the DEC, Disasters Emergency Committee. I forgot to mention that because that's obviously lots of charities, 15 incorporated in there. And also the lovely thing about it as well, there was a tweet that was sent through from a young girl who was 18 years old. Her name is Luba, and she sent a message from her bunker that they actually could watch it, which is amazing. So they were obviously watching it on their computer, and she was just so thankful with the fab performance. But not just that, she was thanking Great Britain for all our support and the love that's really getting them through this, which is really heartwarming. So that was lovely to hear. But there's so much more as well. I mean, it's been a royally rich affair here in Great Britain. Yesterday, unfortunately, I couldn't go, and myself and Ian were actually filming, so we couldn't get to Westminster Abbey, but it was lovely to see Her Majesty the Queen. She was mobile, and we haven't seen her out at major events for over 5 months, so it was great to see her at Westminster Abbey, remembering Prince Philip, the late Prince Philip. She looked absolutely grief-stricken, which was quite sad, but obviously understandable. But it was lovely seeing the whole royal family out, foreign royal family, lots of charities, and really it was a big celebration of the late Duke of Edinburgh. And it was lovely to see fans as well, because fans always arrive, they travel through the night, and they're there with their flags. They travel hundreds of miles, and they're there sort of lining the streets. It's a lovely thing to see and to chat to them. That's what normally happens when we go to the events. But yeah, the last time I think we saw the Duke of Edinburgh was 2017, which was he accompanied the Queen to the Commonwealth Day service. And obviously Westminster Abbey is the most amazing place for anyone that's not been there. And it's been the backdrop for Her Majesty the Queen and Prince Philip's wedding in 1947, and also the coronation in 1953. So it's yeah, it was a fabulous day. I think it's really, I think one of the things I would say, and I think Prince Harry will live to regret it, is how sad that he couldn't make it to such a special day. Because I know that the Duke of Edinburgh, his grandfather, was very important to him. And, you know, it's all about, you know, it's silly really, because obviously the whole royal family was there. You've got the foreign royal people coming in and charities and everything. And it was all very safe. And I do feel that he should have been there. But one of those sad things. I mean, there's I think the most exciting thing was seeing Her Majesty, who was absolutely mobile, and also seeing the Duke and Duchess of Cambridge with the children. They've had the successful royal tour, an 8-day tour that they've just come back from. You know, it has had some mixed reviews, but overall, everyone on the ground really welcomed them. It was absolutely a fabulous time. There will be things change, a little bit of modernisation to the family. And actually, since they've been back, searches for the Caribbean holidays has gone up by about 500% here in Great Britain. So everyone's trying to play. And do you know what? Mel B as well, who we've spoken about quite a bit, is now the ambassador of Neves. Her late father comes from there. So she's now promoting the Caribbean, which is interesting. But we've got so much more news. But do you know what? We've actually got so many lovely guests here today as well. So it's probably great to chat to everyone. I don't know if anyone's got anything they want to say about our lovely royal family or any of the news.
There was a nice touch I saw yesterday with the Queen with her cromach, the stick that she was carrying, obviously stolen from Balmoral, with the bit of stag's antler there at the top. It's sort of, the cromach is somewhere between a walking stick and a shepherd's crook, so it's quite long. And I thought that was actually a very nice touch, because of the connection with Balmoral and the Duke of Edinburgh and the Queen. I mean, they loved that place. And of course, the Duke of Edinburgh being, you know, with the title of Edinburgh, and again carrying the Scottish cromach. Perfect.
I think the only thing that I was saying to Helena yesterday, the Queen has got this golf buggy now. That is going to be, this is quite serious. It's cost £55,000, this golf buggy. And the idea is that she can get out and about in Windsor again. Well, I was going to say do her shopping, but no, you know, I can't see her doing her shopping in her golf buggy. But who knows? Who knows with this Queen at the moment? You know, she's doing things that, you know, she's seen what Zoom can do. You know, I don't know what she's going to do next, this lady. But I think it does show again the strength of feeling for the Queen. Everybody was rooting for the Queen yesterday. She hasn't been able to do too much recently, and I think, you know, there was a lot of strain on her yesterday, even walking that very, very short distance as well, because her mobility has really been in question recently as well. But she was stoic. She was there, and you know, everybody, I think the whole of Britain breathed a sigh of relief that she's still around.
Yeah.
Tell us more about this golf buggy. Oh, sorry. The golf buggy. What does it look like? And is it electric?
Well, Helena knows this. She's seen it. I've got a horrible feeling she's had a go in it.
I wish. Actually, I'm going to be her little driver. No, it's a really lovely golf buggy. It's got lots of mod cons in it, lovely seats. It's very comfortable. But I mean, she's going to really use it more, I think. You know, not in London, obviously, because the thing about Her Majesty is she always used to be horse riding regularly, you know, walking her dogs all the time. I mean, that's her pastime, but now she can't even walk her dogs properly. I would imagine in the golf buggy she'll be able to do it, because it can go really slowly, and they can just be on the side. But it's going to be taking her to lovely places. It's beautiful. I'd love one. Next time.
It just begs the image of her getting a speeding ticket, doesn't it?
Yes, I just wonder if Andrew might be borrowing it on the odd occasion for the round.
Yes.
Lovely. I know we have some more news to go over, but I thought this would be a good time if we brought Janetta up and spotlighted her so she could tell us about World Jenny's Day. And we're talking about doing it here on this platform, which was great. And hopefully all of you will join us for this initiative. So Janetta, how do you feel about that? Are you ready?
I'm ready. Really ready.
So tell us about World Jenny's Day. We actually have a clip that we're going to look at as well. So if you can tee that up.
World Jenny's Day. World Jenny's Day was born out of my greatest life test. And it was a test that I, at the time, thought I would never, ever be able to get through. 16, nearly 17 years ago now, I was putting in safekeeping house rules for my 16-year-old daughter, Jenny, and our conversation escalated into an almighty row, and she took herself off to pack and leave home. And I sensed something wasn't right, and I went to find her, and I found she had killed herself in her shower. And it was a really difficult journey. And eventually I researched and got myself out of the incredibly deep, dark, emotional hole I had fallen into. And I've helped people all over the world. And part of the pledge I made was that something meaningful would come out of this senseless loss that we as a family had to deal with. Something great that would leave a legacy that was bigger than me or Jenny or my family, or even its story. And that's starting to happen. And one of the things that we realized is that after Jenny died, she'd actually died on the 10th of October, which is World Mental Health Day. So we now have World Jenny's Day on World Mental Health Day. And it's held, this year, 2022, will be the third year we're holding it. Last year was phenomenally successful, and we use theatre and the arts to soften the conversation and even normalize the conversation around depression and suicide, and even how to present the solutions, accurate solutions to what people are battling with and dealing with. And we're really looking forward to presenting this year's 10th of October on USA Global TV platform. It'll be amazing. So, Dr. Jacalyn, let's have a look at the clip. And I wanted to take this opportunity to say how special it is to be back on this platform with you, Ian and Helena, because this is where it started with you two, actually through Ellen Robinson, who's done a lot of my photographic work, who's a friend of yours, Ian. And through Ellen and meeting both of you, just so many special, meaningful happenings are coming out. And I'm so grateful to be a part of this and with you all. And thank you all.
Can I ask a question? How long did it take for you to be able even to talk about something like this? Because, you know, I went through a depression myself as well, and it took me a long time to come out of it. What was it cathartic to actually do these types of events, or have you been doing events before that time?
Yeah, it's an interesting question, that, because it was a mixture of both. There were some things that I found cathartic and other things that I had to really work through and push myself through because it left me so vulnerable. So talking generally that it had happened and that I was looking at ways to get through it was more general and I could do more easily. But the moment it came, I actually employed a Hollywood script writer to help me write the story of what actually had happened and where it had got me eventually. But I was still on my journey of healing as I was writing it. And it was profoundly painful to write it because I felt such a failure as a mother. And now I'm going international saying I failed. And the vulnerability of all of that, I can remember I walked around the block for days at a time going, how do I express this without feeling like I'm an absolute loser at the end of the day? Because I knew that actually it would be inspiring. So there was so much conflict in writing that story. And of course, the day that it went international, and it went into a book alongside people like Dr. Bernie Siegel and Dr. John D. Martini and Dr. Alveda King, Martin Luther King's niece, and a whole load of people. And I had to press that button to send the story off, and it hovered there for many hours before I said, okay, it's time to go. And for weeks, the feeling of vulnerability and failure was profound until people started coming back going, oh my word, how inspiring. And you've helped me and you've helped my niece who is 16. And then I realized how valuable that vulnerability is for and to people.
So what advice would you give? Because you've obviously got a lot of experience now in this work. So people who are going through a situation where they've lost a loved one, what advice do you give them? I used to find advice used to come, people became experts, you know, and I got inundated when I was going through my times. And sometimes I just wanted peace. But what advice would you give people who are having to deal with something like this?
Yeah, it's a good one. Actually, for me, it's about giving the advice for the people around them. Because the person that's going through that loss presents itself in many, many forms for different people. So the advice I can give that I went through won't necessarily identify for you. So it's allowing the person to express how they're feeling in their own time and in their own way without trying to fix them. I call them band-aid cliches. You know, I got things like, well, at least you have 3 other children, or you know, God wanted another angel in heaven, and all these incredible cliches, which has nothing to do with helping me and everything to do with helping the person who's trying to help me, because they don't know how to help, so they think that will fix it. So I call them quick fix band-aid cliches. So it's more about helping people to understand that it's allowing the person without controlling them or telling them what they must think or what they must feel or how they must move on. I can remember at the 3-month mark, people saying, isn't it time you stop talking so much about what happened? And Jenny, it's those things. It's more the people around the person. If they can educate themselves how to rather listen and be present and allow whatever comes out to come out.
And did you think anybody understood you?
For a long time, no. And in fact, it impacted because a lot of the community were very supportive, but at the same time, I still had an 11, 12-year-old child at home, and suddenly people didn't want to send their children to our house. It had a huge impact on that level. So there were times, and even now, within the family, there's a lot of family members who still don't quite feel comfortable that I'm so verbal and out there. And it's about me stepping into my truth with an open heart, and that's all that matters.
I think it's just so lovely. I mean, it's lovely that you've come to sharing this with us again, Janetta. Thank you. It's really lovely. But you've been through what you've been through. You've learned so much, and now you're sharing it with the world and sharing it with people and helping so many people, which is so admirable. It's fabulous. And now that we're going to be working with you as well on World Jenny's Day this year, that's so exciting. And it's going to be on Dr. Jacalyn's platform. You know, what's a better way to do that? We're really pleased. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm inspired, and I just love and adore you all for all that. I've been watching the snippets of the show as I've been playing grandma. You know, I've had my grandma hat on over the last 9 weeks, and become a grandmother to my 7th grandchild now. But watching what you're doing, all of you, is just so inspiring, and I'm just so glad you've created this platform, and it's an honor and privilege to be a part of it. Just lovely.
How have your other children coped as well? Do you cope together, or do you find each one has a different coping mechanism?
Oh yeah, each one had a different coping mechanism, and for a while it splintered us. There was definitely a splinter there as everybody tried to deal within themselves. And this last trip, spending so much time with them, has enabled new, even deeper conversations to start coming out. It's a lifetime process. I call it, it's like an onion peel, except it's more like waves of where it ebbs and flows. And there are far more meaningful conversations coming now, even 16, 17 years later. As they're parenting, in fact, I'm watching their parenting and my parenting styles and their parenting styles, and me going, listen, I am no college of knowledge. I had a daughter that hanged herself. But it's so interesting how I am being asked for my opinion. And that wouldn't have happened before because everybody was hurting too much. It was a very inspiring, difficult, but inspiring trip at the same time.
And are the grandchildren told about what's happened? So do they understand?
Yes, one of them's named after her, actually. Her middle name is Jennifer, and she's only 6, and she lives out in the African bush. She and her sister are my bush children. Got some amazing stories to share with how they speak. But she actually came to me and said, but you have 3 children. And we had that conversation. I said, no, I had 4. And what was her name? And I said, no, Jennifer. She said, oh, my name's Jennifer. So it's out there. It's out there.
Janetta, you know how much I appreciate you and what you have also brought to this platform, in addition to making people aware of the fact that it's okay to talk about suicide. It's important to talk about it. It's important to acknowledge it, that mental health awareness is in, I want to say, alignment with art and with creativity and with being able to express yourself to help with depression or anxiety. And I know that the rest of you here, you all understand that as well. And we do a lot of promoting of that mental health awareness on this show. Helena?
We absolutely do. We absolutely do. And you know myself, Dr. Jacalyn, I'm a real advocate there, working with various charities. And that was interesting thing when meeting Janetta as well and hearing her story. It's fabulous. It's just so important. In fact, even this morning I was. Is that a dog I can hear in the back?
I hear a heartbeat or something. It's the heartbeat of America. No.
Great Britain. I was actually thinking.
1 minute, I'll sort it.
Okay. It's a dog. Yeah, you were right.
Heartbeats. Yes, no, it's very close to my heart. In fact, I was listening to power naps. I'm talking about mental health because we talked about power naps a little while ago, but power naps are incredibly good for mental health, lowering blood pressure. I mean, in every single way, it's incredible. Anyway, I won't go into that. It's just I did a bit of research into it. We can talk about that another time.
Simon, anything you want to share with us about what's going on?
It's all right. The termites are having a field day today.
Diann, you're on mute, by the way.
In the last show, I had a bee buzzing around, and I was half expecting you to say, "What's that buzzing?"
Yes. I have to say, Janetta actually broadcast the whole time she was in South Africa, and she moved around many places, and she had that green screen with her, and she made it happen.
You should have seen the way I had it hanging. In some of the circumstances, it was nothing short of a miracle that it stayed up. Well, I was actually in Kenya more than I was South Africa, but right down from the foothills of Mount Kenya, with Mount Kenya in the background, into the deep, deep bush. I had this green screen with me, but gee, what a mission. I'm so glad to have it back in my studio.
But now you're freezing, right?
I'm frozen. I was boiling hot last Wednesday in the middle of Motswari Game Lodge Reserve in Timbavati, just going, whew, and now here I am with a blanket and going, go.
It's about to snow, Janetta, isn't it? So you come back at the time.
And what I was telling Dr. Jacalyn, whilst I was away, this is my very special studio I built specially for presentations like this. The one window with the high winds we had was completely blown out. And then I've got lovely talk about royal blue carpet here. It got sodden, and all the electrics and my mics and everything got wished away. So that's why I'm a bit cold, because I can't put the heater on at the moment. But I'm here and I've got the lights on and I'm with you.
We appreciate that. Janetta, for people who want to get involved or find out more about World Jenny's Day, we've got your banner. But how else can people get involved?
Well, World Jenny's Day is about being able to express through theatre and the arts in general. Last year, we had a 24-hour marathon on the audio app Clubhouse, where we started with performers from New Zealand, and we moved from east to west across the world over 24 hours. We had Tibet, we had China, we had it was an amazing marathon, and ended up back in New Zealand 24 hours later. And people are still talking about that, going, the spirit and the camaraderie was amazing. So we want to do the same, or we are doing the same this year through theatre and the arts, softening conversations, creating camaraderie. We'll be using the different types of methods and examples to show people how to step into normalizing the conversation and how to deal with the challenge of how they may or may not be feeling. And we're using theatre and the arts throughout that day, 10th of October, as we make World Jenny's Day more and more a household name, and people realize that there's nothing wrong with them, that they're actually very normal, very human, and it's just how they approach or how they're feeling that matters. And in terms of how to contact, it's worldjennysday.com. There's all the information on there. By the way, we've got a bike ride in June to raise funds. We want to put Insight, the theatrical production, on worldwide franchised. And we're raising funds for World Jenny's Day and that through a bike ride being held in Kenya, starting at the foothill of Mount Kilimanjaro and going through Savo West and into Savo East and ending up on the north coast of Kenya in a beautiful, beautiful place with white powder, talcum powder sand. It's called Wutamu. And we've got only 40 places for people to be able to be in that bike ride. The bikes are provided. And you'll be able to start there and stay at different lodges and camps as you go along over 5 days. So that's on the website as well. Love to invite anybody who'd like to know more about that, contact us. And all the info is there on the site.
Thank you, Janetta. It's fantastic for sharing that with everyone. All right.
Oh, thank
Helena.
you.
No, thank you. Helena, we've got a couple of other clips. What would you like to take a look at next?
We have. I think we should. We've got a lovely. This is a lovely promotional video promoting Wales, and I think that would be a good one to show. And this was a little. I mean, this is something we were thinking about because obviously Victoria George Beale was with us yesterday as well. And it was reminding us how we missed Wales and we want to see what more I do. So it'd be great to show it. Let's roll with it.
All right, let's take a look. Did Victoria produce this one?
No, she didn't. Not this one. No, this is like a tourist one, but it's lovely. It's really, well, it makes me want to race there.
All right, let's take a look. Wow, that does look beautiful.
I'd just like to add something so that Simon doesn't feel out of sorts with Scotland. I'm just going to hold something to camera now. I don't know whether that can be, I don't know if you can see it or not.
All right.
It's a castle?
It's a castle, and it's Queen Victoria's favourite hotel just outside Edinburgh. And it's being turned into a Radisson Blue hotel. So I got this message today, and I thought, just in case Simon felt we weren't pushing Scotland as well at the same time.
Thank you, Ian. Your check's in the post.
Simon doesn't feel like that, do you?
Yeah, we've got some very nice hotels up here. I mean, one of my favourites up in Fort William, Inverlochy Castle. And it's quite an extraordinary place. The late King Hussein of Jordan used to call it his Highland home, and he would stay there 2 or 3 times in the year. At that time, I had my food smoking business out in the remote wilds of Glenouig, and he used to come in and visit me and pick up some smoked salmon to take back with him. And we used to have some amazing conversations. And he so loved Scotland, and in particular the West Highlands, because he felt he could move about totally freely there with no worries, and it he said it kept him youthful. I mean, just look at me. I'm a glowing example.
You look
Okay.
very full of life.
We love Scotland as well. Actually, Simon, thinking about loving Scotland and everything Scotland, obviously the Loch Ness Monster is very Scottish, but I've heard rumours that they're trying to ban the Loch Ness Monster. I'm not quite sure how, what, where. I wondered if you knew anything to do with this.
I mean, it was nothing to do with me. I mean, you know, they've tried to ban all sorts of fisheries and so on, but Loch Ness monster hunting is quite a different kettle of fish, if you'll pardon the expression. But then, you know, there's all sorts of thoughts that Nessie actually has a cousin or a sister or a brother or something. Nobody's been quite brave enough to find out if it is male or female, and that's in Loch Morar, again in Loch Aber, which is a remarkable area. And Loch Morar is actually the deepest depression in Europe. It's an extraordinary loch, quite long ribbon-shaped one. And there have been many reported sightings of a strange creature, which is known affectionately as Morag. So I presume that Morag must be Mrs. Loch Ness Monster then. But yeah, Loch Aber, as an area in Scotland, it's got the highest point in the British Isles with Ben Nevis. It's got the most westerly point in the British mainland with Ardnamurchan Point, and we've got the deepest depression, well, not just in the UK, but in Europe as well, with Loch Morar. So it's quite a remarkable county with a little bit of everything. I don't even know if it's a county, but it's a sort of biggish area. But I have many, many years living there. Absolutely loved it. A real wilderness.
Now, I just want to clarify, the Loch Ness Monster has never actually been seen, right? There have been sightings just like aliens, or has it been?
There's all trains of thought of that. Many photographs and unexplained photographs. I think there was the one which was done about 1920s or 30s, which turned out in actual fact to be an elephant, and not in Loch Ness. So I had to go all the way to South Africa to see that one. But there are many photographs which show unexplained movements and ripples on the water, and also hydrographic signals as well that have been picked up in the loch. I think there was one which they thought, oh, we found something here, and it turned out it was actually a Wellington bomber that had gone down in the war years, and they recovered that pretty much intact. But lots of reported sightings, not personally, but
you'll let us know if you do see it.
Indeed, yeah. I think there's probably more reported sightings just after closing time in the pub in Loch Ness. And strangely enough, they all seem to be pink.
Oh my gosh.
That's funny.
So funny. Helena, we have one more clip, Making Discoveries, Driving Progress. Anything that you want to share about this one?
Yeah, this one, actually, yeah, I think we should show the video. This is a new video for Cancer Research UK. Cancer is the leading cause of death worldwide. I think 1 in 2 people, born after 1960 will be diagnosed at some point in their life. So, I mean, it's, I think, obviously a very strong charity, and I think let's play the video.
Okay.
I think we all know somebody who's been affected by cancer or has passed away through cancer, and I think it's such a strong charity, and it just brings hope. Definitely brings hope. And here in Great Britain, we have something that's been going for a little while now. It's called Stand Up for Cancer, and it's supported by TV over here. And there's lots of case studies, stories. We have Celebrity MasterChef, I think it is. I can't remember the name, but it's all about raising money for cancer research. And I think at the last count, I think it was we'd raised at least 100 million, and it's something that keeps going. So yeah, it's so powerful and so needed. The statistics are incredibly high. I haven't been aware. So yeah.
Absolutely. To your point, we all know someone, we've all lost someone to cancer. And that clip really does give inspiration. I found myself starting to cry again, just thinking about all the things that people have to go through in life and how we have to find our resilience and pull together. And I really feel like that's what this show and this platform is all about, is people realizing that we're not alone, that what we're going through, somebody else is going through, somebody else went through. And if we can just all reach out to one another and be supportive and be kind.
Yep.
Absolutely.
For sure.
So important to talk. It's just so important.
Yeah, the moment you talk, then people realize, oh, I thought I was only feeling that or thinking that. And then you hear that just about everybody all around you is in the same boat, and you go, okay, so I'm normal. That's the normalizing.
I think it's very important. You're right, Janetta. It's very important to reach out, because I think men find it very hard to reach out. Yeah. And I think in my early days, when I was going through my issues, I found it very hard to reach out as well. And then as people I've talked about before, womanhood saved me. I got circled in love with women who helped me get through the times and brought me back to life again. And really taught me just to communicate, just to talk about things, that nothing was off the table. You know, any feeling, any emotion that I had at the time, I was able to express, and nobody took exception to it at all either. And I think it is, you know, communications, talking about things is one of the best ways of actually at least releasing the pressure. The pressure is always there, but at least releasing the pressure at the same time.
I definitely agree with you. And Ian, I'm so glad you brought that up, because we have another team member here. His name is Roland Friedel, and he went through some tough times and never talked about it, and found out that his life was getting out of control, and he was turning to food, and he was, whatever it was, he was doing too much of it. And he now has a men's group that he started. He's got several chapters around the world where men actually share their emotions and talk about what it's like to have to keep that stiff upper lip and go to work every day and come home and be responsible for so many things that many women are also now responsible for. But he started something, and it's really caught on, because so many men and even their partners are encouraging them, yes, please go and talk to other people that understand what you're going through.
Yeah, I think it is. And it's, you know, these types of situations, emotions, you know, the thing I think I learned about myself more than anything is listen to my emotions. So I got happy emotions this afternoon. I got positive emotions this afternoon, you know, and I think it's always very important. The best way I ever found of getting through troubled times was to give myself a treat. And every day I would plan my treat for the following day. It could be a chocolate bar, it could be a walk, whatever it was, but I planned a treat every day, and it made every day a little bit more worthwhile than in the early days. But nowadays, you know, I work with wonderful people like yourselves, and you are my treats.
Oh, that's so sweet.
That's so nice. Thank you.
I've got my treat waiting for me in about 5 minutes' time as well. It comes from the Isle of Isla. It's a lovely amber color.
I just want to chime in for a moment that I loved what you said, Ian, and it also reminds us that people who are listening, you can feel bad about things and someone say, oh, that's so sad, you'll get over it soon. And so miscarriages can put you into a funk, and it's important to share that feeling with others. So for example, I've lost several children at 6 months of carrying them, and it's a horrible feeling. And so I just want people to know you don't have to have this massive thing happen in your life that you might say is worse than a miscarriage, because a miscarriage is bad. So talk to anybody about anything that puts you in an emotional funk. Now, what do y'all think about that?
It is, because my former wife had 4 miscarriages, so we could never have children. in the end. And the reality was that I think we both missed out. We both wanted children. And in our days, there wasn't any help in the area of England where I was until you had 5 miscarriages.
Oh, wow.
And so the well, you will understand, Diann, that the actual pressure every single time, the joy of thinking something is going to happen and then it doesn't happen. It's one of the most disastrous times. People deal with it in different ways. With us, it was just for something that was onward going. And in the end, I think it was part of the reasons why, unfortunately, we parted in the end, is that it just seemed that in some ways life didn't seem to have any value anymore. And that's a bad feeling to have, because life has tremendous value as well. So, but I sympathize with what you went through, Diann. I know exactly what you went through.
Thank you. But I just really want the audience to understand, to talk, right? That's so important to talk. And I'm sorry, Ann, for that too, because that's tough.
I feel like crying again.
Oh, don't.
I ended up with 3 beautiful children, so I've been blessed. So.
That's all right. Happy show today, isn't it?
Touching on another note, how is fishing doing in Scotland these days?
So I'm on a mission, ladies. I'm on a mission right now, and Helena's going to crown me for talking about this, but basically I'm working with a fashion designer at the moment, and I was talking to a doctor about 10 days ago, and she's going through the menopause at the moment, and she was saying that going through the menopause is a terrible time. She can't find things to wear because obviously things like sweat spots, day and night, trying to find clothes. She put on 2 stones in weight as well. And so if any menopausal women will contact me at the moment, because we want to try and see whether we can actually create a clothes range that will work for women going through that period in their lives.
Wow, you're going to have a lot of people reaching out to you. Hello.
I remember that time. And actually, with my last miscarriage, I went straight into menopause, and I was only in my 30s. And I was like, this isn't going to happen. And so I went to a doctor after reading lots of books and coming to the realization that we're all mammals. And so I said, I want you to make my period fake, because I'm going to fake periods because I want to live a longer life. And as long as you're having periods, are you well, with each child, 10 years supposedly is added onto your life. So I said, and so we did.
We are learning so much today
with that.
I love it.
And the doctor, he was in shock. You know, most people don't want that. And I go, I'm not most people.
Oh, thank you for sharing.
To fishing in Scotland again.
Yes, what's going on with the fishing industry, Simon?
We're still catching some. I mean, I've been following up from the trip I had out to Boston to the Seafood Expo there. Fabulous trip, it really was. Boston's such a beautiful, beautiful city. So catching up on that, we're having to phone around all the boats and say, oh God, there it goes again. Oh no. So phone around all the boats. Come on, guys, you're going to have to get bigger boats. You know, we're going to get an awful lot going to the States. So so fishing, fishing is doing well just now. We've got a certain amount of sustainability. We've got a lot of valuable boats out there and a lot of very knowledgeable people. The markets just now, Europe is still causing problems with the paperwork getting things in there, and this is one of the reasons why we decided to go to the States to try and open up bigger markets on a more global basis. So we're quietly optimistic that this is actually going to be a recovery year for our fisheries, because with COVID, the European market collapses and Brexit, we've been through 2 years of absolute hell. And it is now, this is recovery time now. So we're going to go better. I keep trying to breathe optimism into every other fisherman I can. Sometimes it's like trying to give the kiss of life, though I wouldn't even dare. We've got a good fishery here. We've got fabulous waters to fish in. I mean, crystal clear, as pure as you can get. Salmon, we're really world leaders in salmon farming here as well. The quality is exceptional, and it's a wonderful product. In fact, salmon is our second food and drink export, whiskey being the first, and salmon is actually the biggest food export from the UK, and it's all coming from Scotland and mostly from the west coast in the sea lochs and around the islands. So we've got a good future ahead of us.
Thanks for sharing that good report. That's excellent. And Diann, as you know, we have another show that already started. They're waiting for us. And this panel would be great to be on that show. But if you would tee up for our audience, what is our next show? Fashion, travel, and fitness. Tell us about our guests.
Sure, I'll be happy to. Thank you. I'm very excited that we'll have Julie Coy, and who's the author of Grant, her son's books. He does all the artwork, and he is highly autistic. He is an incredible person. I've watched him grow through the years for the past, I guess, 5 or 6 years. And he's now in college in Wisconsin. And he's the first eco artist in the United States as an adult. At that particular time, he was a teenager. So we're very proud of him and excited to have him on the show.
Thanks, Diann.
You're welcome.
So with that being said, we have to sign off. So I'm going to spotlight each of you. I'm going to put up your banner and let you have the final word. Let's start with Janetta.
I just want to say I look forward to seeing this platform and all the shows that get presented on it making such an impact worldwide that anybody and everybody knows what it's doing, and it's making a profound difference. I look forward to that day.
Thank you, Janetta. Very nice. Okay, Mr. Turner.
Well, I would just like to say it's been a great day. There's been a lot to talk about, and there is a lot of unhappiness at the moment in this world. And I think hopefully shows like this can create the balance where people can understand and talk about issues, but at the same time, we can have a laugh. And we know that there's always a positive future as well.
So well said. Thank you. We have to be able to have joy in our life in some way or other. And Helena.
I would say, I mean, I love this platform. That was Jacalyn. I love to be able to, promote quality broadcasting. It means so much to me. And also just to shine a light and promote positivity. It's so important. It gives hope.
Thank you very much. All right. And moving around to Mr. Kilt.
At least you didn't call it a skirt. I mean, that's one thing that does get up my bugle a bit, because the last person to call it a skirt was Kilt, basically. But no, it's been great fun today. I see I'm being given the last word, and that makes a change. And it's been a tremendous show today. Great fun as always. And so there we have the details there. It's Macdonald Simon at ymail.com. No, it's not a spelling mistake. It is the letter ymail.com. People have always asked me that. You can find me on Facebook. You can find me in the pub. You can find me anywhere. And contact me. Carrier pigeons, they fly overhead regularly. We can always pick the one that's got something stuck around its leg. So I look forward to seeing you all again. It's been fantastic fun.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. And Diann, you and I are going to head off, but I've got your banner here. So let me spotlight you.
Sure, Ian, you summed it up so well. So, and Helena. So, for everybody, I hope you have a very blessed day, and that life brings you many, many blessings. And remember, if you do get down, we are here for you, and there's always places to go. And embrace your imagination, because you can be whoever you truly want to be. Thank you, Dr. Jacalyn.
Thank you, Diann. And with that, we are all going to head off, and we'll be back next week. Do stay tuned. Diann and I are coming right back. So wherever you're watching us, just stay put. We're going to go to the other studio. All right. Thank you, everyone. Thanks for being here. Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.